Lifeguards springing into action in La Jolla, pulling several migrants from the water after a deadly incident at sea. It is the latest in a string of incidents this month alone, how advocates and authorities are working to communicate the dangers of ocean crossings. And the mass changes that could come to California workplaces before the statewide mandate ends next month. ABC 10 News at 11 starts now.
ABC 10 News starts now with breaking news.
And we welcome you this midday. We start with an update to breaking news from this morning. Another deadly smuggling incident off the shores of San Diego. One person killed, several more sent to the hospital after a suspected smuggling attempt in La Jolla this morning. It is the third that we've covered in recent weeks and the second that has turned deadly. ABC 10 News reporter Nate Holmes joins us live from La Jolla's Children's Pool. And Nate, this could have been even more tragic if not for the work of lifeguards.
Jim, it was a very busy scene out here, somewhat chaotic when lifeguard crews jumped into that water looking to save those folks after they jumped out of that panga boat. That panga boat is actually still here on shore right now. You can see it. Now, the sun was just starting to rise when our camera crews got here, so you can imagine it was still pretty dark when lifeguards got that call. That makes it even harder for them to locate those folks in the water. But Border Patrol tells us that they were tracking the boat before the migrants jumped into the water.
We heard some screaming, some yelling for help in Spanish.
Neighbor Ed Esquenazi and his family woke up to sounds of people in distress coming from the beach.
I got up and looked, and I saw some people in the water and a boat leaving.
Lifeguards tell us nearly half of the migrants on the boat were dumped in the water near the Marine Street beach access.
They dropped approximately 8 people here, and then they went over to near the children's pool, and they let more occupants come off.
8 people detained coming in on a Rescue 3 vessel.
It took lifeguards about 25 minutes to get them out of the water, only some of them wearing life vests. The 8 migrants rescued on Marine Street were taken to lifeguard headquarters before being looked at by medics. The others detained by Border Patrol. Agents tell us they were tracking the group before they fled the boat.
Agents basically spotted the vessel when it was still northbound from Point Loma, and from that point we were basically tracking it and tracked it to this area. We had agents on scene when they were attempting to disembark.
Border Patrol confirms a total of 15 people are now in their custody. Back out here live, you can see that panga boat on the shore here. As of right now, agents have not confirmed the gender or ages of those that were on the boat or if any of them were minors. Virginia.
Thank you, Nate. Now, today's rescue is the third panga boat rescue in just the last few weeks, which raises questions about what is being done to prevent this from happening. ABC 10 News reporter Marie Coronel shows us what local immigration advocates are pushing for.
It's a sight that's becoming all too familiar in San Diego. Lifeguards working to rescue individuals on a panga boat. This week alone, ABC 10 News covered 2 rescue efforts. Both boats filled with more than a dozen people each. And then a few weeks ago was this dramatic scene near the Cabrillo National Monument, where a boat with more than 30 people on board crashed and capsized, sending people into the water. 3 people died. The Border Patrol says they've seen a surge in the number of people trying to get into the U.S. by way of the water.
These are basically open hold fishing vessels, overloading them with occupants, with gas cans. Sometimes they're pushing them miles offshore.
Last year, they took 1,300 people into custody. This year, they've already taken in 1,100 people. And local immigration advocates say the inherent risk isn't enough to keep people from doing this.
Both countries need to do more. The U.S. and its policies and the country they're coming from, and trying to provide opportunities for these people so they don't have to leave.
Adding officials need to find another way to get the word out and across the border about the dangers of trying to enter the country illegally, especially on the water.
So I've reached out to the Border Patrol and to the Mexican consulate and said, hey, I'd be happy to make public service announcements or do whatever it takes to tell people, do not risk your lives crossing in the ocean trusting the smugglers.
Marie Cornell, ABC 10 News.
We will, of course, stay on top of the investigation into this morning's incident. You can stay on top of those updates by going to 10news.com.
And we are tracking breaking news on an FBI raid in Mira Mesa. Sky 10 giving you a look from above at the scene on Londonderry and Gold Coast Drive. Details sparse at this point. FBI only telling us they are conducting, quote, court-authorized law enforcement activity. Neighbor there telling us it was unnerving to wake up to this scene.
There was a big, armored utility vehicle in the driveway right here, and a bunch of armed FBI agents were storming in.
Now, the neighbor says he saw some people led away in restraints, though we don't have any official word yet on arrests. Meanwhile, our crew on the ground spotted agents inside a garage at a home there, going back and forth to a van parked out front and removing some computers and other items. And we will bring you updates as we get them. Well, California deciding to stick to its mask mandate for another month, but one requirement could be on the way out sooner than that. Cal OSHA considering dropping its mask requirement in workplaces only where all employees are vaccinated. The board is meeting to discuss possible changes today. They could also make changes to temporary requirements on social distancing in the workplace. If they approve any changes today, those would go to a state office who would have 10 days to make a final decision.
Weeks after a crippling cyber attack, Scripps Health is beginning to get back online. So the healthcare provider still has not fully recovered, but employees are able to do a little bit more. Sources tell ABC 10 News workers can read medical records dated before May, but they can't update them. Some computers work, others are still out of commission, so we're told multiple people are forced to use the same computer to access things. Some employee email and payroll information can also be accessed now. So, progress, but it's still a bit unclear exactly how this is impacting care, appointments, treatments, and more. We have reached out to Scripps Health and we're waiting for more information. We have some new details about a high school sports controversy we first reported last month. Cathedral Catholic hit with probation over the behavior of some of their players leading up to a football game with Lincoln High School. Now, 2 photos involved Cathedral Catholic players. One shows them pretending to flash gang signs. The other showed a player wearing a shirt that read, quote, Catholics versus convicts. That's a reference to a game in the 80s between Notre Dame and Miami. Lincoln High criticized those posts as racist, and the Catholic Diocese issued an apology. The San Diego City Conference looked into that matter, and here is what they decided. Now, according to a Facebook post from Lincoln's principal, Cathedral Catholic will be on probation through 2023. What that means is if there are any racist incidents in that time, they could be removed from the conference. The school's football coach will be suspended for the first 2 games of next season. Both schools will take steps to discuss the incident and its impact with students, athletes, staff, and more. And an educational program on justice and diversity will be implemented within Cathedral Catholic Athletics. Well, around the globe calls for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas as shelling and airstrikes continue. But as ABC's Matt Gutman reports from Israel, things may be trending toward de-escalation.
There is a sense here on the ground that this is beginning to wind down. Overnight, for the first time since the conflict began, there was an 8-hour span of time in which not a single rocket was fired at Israel from Gaza. In Gaza for the past 48 hours, despite continued Israeli airstrikes, fewer casualties there. Now, we are at a artillery site. You can see those artillery pieces behind me. There's one here ready to fire. Israel has continued the fire, but it has slackened. That, as we are hearing for the first time from a Hamas official publicly, that there might be a ceasefire within the next day or 2. Still, we just had a rocket land not too far away. The sirens were sounding. We dove for cover over here. And that is very typical in this conflict, which I've been covering for about 20 years now. Just before a ceasefire, both sides try to have this crescendo of firepower. So while we might be nearing the end, it's certainly not over yet. Matt Gutman, ABC News, near the Gaza border in Israel.